The largest budget increase for Minnesota schools in the past 15 years easily won the stamp of approval from state lawmakers this summer as students prepare to head back into the classrooms. Joining me to talk about what administrators, teachers, parents, and students can expect this fall is former Lakeville school board member and current Senate Education Committee member, Zach Duckworth. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Some students have not put their feet under a desk in quite some time. What was the committee's greatest concern for students as you shaped this budget bill for the coming 2 years?
Sure. I think our biggest concern was how do we afford our schools, districts, teachers, kids, and families really a chance to come back to the classroom and give everybody a chance to assess where they really are. So by providing the funding necessary for them to be able to evaluate our kids, see where they are, and provide them the resources that they might need in order to get them back to where we need them to be in order to be successful was very instrumental in our thought process as we were putting this bill together. To include our special education students and families as well. In conversations with those families regarding their students, they experience some of the most disruption. And when you have a student of special needs and their programming and everything they're doing and the routine and the consistency of it being so important, it was necessary for us to make sure that in this bill we were providing funding for their resources as well.
So that brings up an interesting point because every student, every school district across the state is going to have different challenges, and this is a huge increase. It's $1.1 billion over the next 4 years. 80% of that funding will go directly to school districts, and historically a lot of those funds are earmarked, but Education Chair Senator Roger Chamberlain wanted the districts to decide how to spend the money, not the legislature. So what should parents expect from their school administrators?
Right, and I think Senator Chamberlain was, of all the times to kind of have that mentality or mindset, I think this was a good one to have it. Every district has been impacted over the last 2 school years very uniquely. The challenges they face and the resource issues they might be having are all unique. So allowing them the freedom and the flexibility and the local control they need at the district level to combat those, I think, was very wise. And so I would expect, as a parent, to expect your school districts, your school boards, to evaluate the kids, the resources, the teachers, the school buildings, all the things that they might need to help get our kids to where we'd like them to be in order to help them continue to be successful moving forward. So that was kind of the reasoning behind it. If I was a parent as well, I'd also be engaging directly with my school board, my principal, teachers, in order to help provide feedback and let them know about your child, their needs, what they're experiencing, and how they can help best have them succeed. As we welcome kids back to school, it's going to be a community effort to make sure that we are providing them the support and the resources they need in order to be successful, and that's a large part of what this bill was aimed at achieving.
Another aspect of this bill is mental health of students, which for some suffered even more, than beyond what is normal because of the pandemic, because of the lack of social interaction. What efforts were enacted to help administrators, teachers, parents, to help address the mental health of kids?
So there are some behavioral health measures that are in the bill. There's training for teachers and staff. When our kids are in grades 4 through 12, there's certain training that they have to go through or be introduced to in the classroom. We added suicide and self-harm awareness to that list. And we also had a lot of conversation and education of our members and others about the use of mobile devices or iPads and screen time and how that can affect our kids. I think one thing that we heard very consistently from parents and from kids is that they were very concerned about the social, emotional well-being of their kids and their mental health. And I think by providing our schools with the funding that we have without many strings attached, it allows them to use those funds in the way they see best fit to meet some of these challenges, to include behavioral health issues, and not to mention the federal money they'll be getting as well to invest in our schools and kids. So that's how we've gone about tackling that, and I suspect it will continue to be a priority for all of us as we move forward.
Now, you mentioned the social media, the technology thing. Your children are small, mine are older, but managing that digital, the devices and how much attention and how drawn kids are to those devices. There's a program that is getting some funding called Live More, Screen Less. And I just wonder, as a parent, what your thoughts are on this, and then the kind of instruction that this will maybe enable in the schools.
Sure. I think what's incumbent upon us as the parents of kids, as the teachers and the administrators, and as school boards, as we're looking at how we're going to implement these tools of technology, is how do we strike a balance, right? They can be phenomenal, very useful tools and enhance the quality of education of our students, but at the same time, we have to know what the potential side effects are from misuse or overuse. You can go down the list, whether it's physical, mental, social, emotional. If we allow our kids or our students just to kind of use these devices as they see fit without any parameters or any safety precautions or measures, then some of those negative effects can take place on them. But here's the deal. I have to admit, I have to be honest with you. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Sometimes they each have their own iPad. Sometimes it's the easy button, right? So I'm not judging here. We just have to educate ourselves about what some of those side effects are, be mindful of them, and we have to strike that balance between those being used as great learning tools and also making sure that we're still allowing our kids to be safe as they use them.
Minnesota has consistently ranked poorly when measuring the overall performance of students of color against white students. And lawmakers have spoken for several years about increasing funding for teachers of color. Studies show that students of color do better when their teachers have similar experiences and backgrounds to, relate to. What's being done in this area? Because something is going to be done now to increase the teachers of color and American Indian teachers in the classrooms.
Absolutely. This was a very important and critical part of this bill. So in this bill, there is language specifically as it relates to our teachers of color, and it makes it a requirement now. It's not just a suggestion. School districts must have a plan in place to attract, develop, and retain teachers of color for all the reasons you just mentioned. We know that all of our children, they span the spectrum. They're very diverse. And when they're in the classroom, the studies you mentioned have shown that some of our diverse students, they do better. They're more successful. Their education is superior when they're seeing other diverse teachers in the classroom as well. Someone that maybe looks like them, teaching them in the classroom. And that's why that language was in the bill. We think it's going to be extremely helpful. There's some other programs that are initiated in this bill, a Grow Your Own program to make sure that we're helping to foster teachers in our own area. I would imagine that students can probably relate to teachers that look like them as well as teachers who are from where they grew up. There's funding in there for programs outside of our school districts like the Santa Foundation, Black Men Teach here in the Twin Cities to try to help find great educators, a diverse pool of educators, and get them in front of all of our kids to help them all be as successful as possible.
And finally, before we go, the killing of George Floyd prompted national conversations that include how students learn about American history. This law places a 2-year delay on the implementation of any new academic standards, including those for social studies. And I wonder what your thoughts are when it comes to the legislature's role in determining educational curriculum.
Sure. It's a very good question, a fair question, especially right now. I think, in my humble opinion, the role of the legislature is to ensure that the education of our kids does not become overly politicized. And to really make sure that it's being funded appropriately and allowing school districts, school boards, local communities, families, and their students determine how to best meet the educational needs of their students. That's, of course, coming from a former school board member, right? The much more candid way to answer your question is, let's let our school districts, our school boards, our parents figure out how they want to teach their kids and go about doing that. But what's really important, what you mentioned, is academic standards were paused across the board, not just social studies. This was a chance for us to say to schools all across Minnesota, we know you've been through heck the last couple of school years. We know the workload has been through the roof. We know you've faced a lot of uncertainty, a lot of changes, and so have our kids and their families. So you just finished running a marathon. Let's allow you to take a knee, catch your breath, get reestablished before we start requiring you to implement new academic standards, change lesson plans, and reimagine what you're doing in the classroom. So really, the intent behind that portion of the bill was to welcome our kids back to the classroom, let our teachers wrap their arms around them, see where they currently are, and get them the help and the resources they need. And once we've done that, we can discuss new standards moving forward.
Senator Zach Duckworth, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.